I'm going to the San Diego Zoo today to try and catch some of the shows. Should be fun. These are just too adorable. I'm gonna have to check out some of their Christmas items in here. They have the most beautiful hibiscus flowers here. Look at the color on that. So gorgeous. That is Akuba just sitting and watching us.
He's a model.
Yeah.
I think they're mostly $1.25.
That is Denny.
By my house, it's $1.50.
zoo's beautiful bridge. You can go to my Helen May 8 YouTube channel and I show you the famous historic 7 bridge hike. I'm on my way to Panda Ridge, and then the first show will be at Africa Rocks. The San Diego Zoo has a lot of different, unique, and beautiful plants. The African penguin.
So basically, they're this.
Wait, you want a cheese stick?
presentation at the Africa Rocks Plaza stage. My name is Lauren. I'm one of the wildlife care specialists here at the zoo. That means I get to work with animals from all over the world, including this very handsome owl, right? I bet most of you knew that he was an owl. His name is Benjamin. Everybody say, what's up, Benjamin? Nice. Okay, we know he's an owl. Does anybody know what type of owl he is? This is a harder question. Oh, I heard great horned owl. Is that what you were going to say too? Okay, he's a cousin of the great horned owl. He's a Eurasian eagle owl. So as their name suggests, they come from Europe and Asia, even the northern parts of Africa too. Their range is huge. They're essentially, though, the great horned owls of Europe and Asia. Just like we have great horned owls right here in San Diego County, they are widespread. They are found in so many different environments. That's the same with these guys, but over in Europe and Asia. They're very widespread. So a species that's found in so many different environments or countries, right? They're survivalists. They're able to survive in all these different environments and scenarios, right? One of the reasons for that, eagle owls are opportunistic hunters. That means they're going to eat just about anything they can catch. So whether that's mice, rats, squirrels, small children, and I'm just kidding. But they are incredible hunters. They're top of the food chain predators, right? That's why they're called birds of prey, because they're hunting for their prey. They're really good predators. What else makes them a really good hunter? Good. Quiet flight, silent flight. That is absolutely right. So, owls are not the pursuit hunters in the bird of prey world. They're not that fast. They're not that stealthy. But what they have going for them is they are more stealthy than pursuit hunters. They're really quiet when they're flying. Their prey never hears them coming. Now, the reason for that has to do with their flight feathers. So the feathers right here, the ones that help them to fly, they're serrated like a butter knife is or like a comb. So the air is able to whoosh right through a lot easier than, say, a hawk or a falcon or a pigeon. When they flap, they make a ton of noise, right? These guys are very quiet when they're hunting. They're getting really hard on this glove or not. So to be honest, right now, I could probably be okay without this glove. But if a red-shouldered hawk or something flies right in, he grips really hard, and then I'm so glad that I have this glove. And he's doing a wonderful job. Do you guys mind if I give him a piece of food? Okay, if you don't want to see it, you don't have to look. Okay, but he's going to gladly take a Mises piece. There you go, buddy. That's a piece of mouse right there. So we got those talons, we have silent flight, we have really good hearing. Ooh, what else? Anything else? What's another sense? Eyesight, absolutely. Owls have some of the best eyesight in the animal kingdom. If we could see as well as Benjamin, we could be on one end of a football field and read a newspaper on the other side. Their eyesight is incredible. And what's my favorite fact about owl eyes, the part that you're seeing, the beautiful orangey part, that's actually the smallest part of their eyes. So I don't like to call them eyeballs because they're not shaped like balls. Instead, think of it like an eye bell. The part that you're seeing is like the top of the bell. It just gets bigger and bigger as it goes inside their skull. So their eyes take up 2/3 of the space in their skull. That means, you guys, there's not a lot of room for anything else up there. The wise old owl, it's just, it's just not true. But they are just as smart as they have to be in order to survive and hunt and thrive out in the wild. Okay, guess we got 5 pounds, 15 pounds. If he were a mammal, yes, if he were a mammal, he would be about 15 to 20 pounds. So that is a great guess. He's about baby size, I would say, right in the denseness. Very good, but he is not a mammal, right? Bird bones are a lot less dense than mammals. In fact, Benjamin weighs 4 pounds. That is it. He is only 4 pounds. Whoever said 5? Very good guess. And it's typical in the bird of prey. He likes bed and breakfast here. But we do like to make sure he's using all of his adaptations to rip apart food that he's eating sometimes. That's another thing all birds of prey have in common, that curved beak for ripping apart their food. They're going to use their incredibly sharp talons to stretch, 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 grab onto their prey, and then bring it to that curved beak. Very cool. Now, has anybody seen Benjamin turning his head around a whole bunch? Yeah, I can see him moving around his head. Okay, some people think it's a full 360. You can turn his head in a full circle. It's not a full 360. His head would pop right off, and I would be a new owl. But it's close. He can turn his head about 270 degrees. So we can turn our heads about 90 degrees, maybe one shoulder. We have 7. They have 14. They are pretty impressive animals. Now Benjamin is about 13 years old. He's 13 years old. They can live to be into their 60s though. So he's actually a young dude, I'd say, yeah. Guys, I could talk about owls all day long, but does anybody have any questions about it? He thinks that I'm his girlfriend, and I have to remind him that I'm not. But no, they're solitary, meaning they aren't seeking out that companionship unless it's time to mate. And he's not part of a breeding program. So he does not have a girlfriend. Yeah. Good. Anyway, and one of my favorite things about the way we do our presentations with Benjamin, with our owl, it really shows that the animal has the choice to participate in the program. Let me tell you how. So I go inside his habitat before this 12 o'clock presentation. I will put this glove right on front of a perch or a branch that's right in front of him. I show him a Mises piece. I put it right in front of my glove. Sorry, and then he steps right onto my glove and he gets that piece. There are times, though, he doesn't step up, and then I have to get another animal. I say, all right, I have to get another animal. But he's not strictly nocturnal. And you can tell if an owl is strictly nocturnal by the color of their eyes. If their eyes are pitch black, that tells you they're only hunting the dead of night. But Benjamin does have some color in his eyes. His species is crepuscular. That's a fancy word for they're most active at dawn and dusk, kind of like cats. And that makes sense because that's when the rodent populations are most active, right? Now, an owl the size of Benjamin can eat over 1,000 mice in 1 year. So they are the best natural pest control, right? Attracting native birds of prey to your backyard is a great way to take care of those pests. Yes, yeah, exactly. Plant treats as well.
The question we missed was, how is he different from a great horned owl?
How is he different from a great horned owl? He's definitely a little bit bigger, and they have more of yellowy eyes. Yeah. And there's some other differences that I should probably look up. And where they live, you know. He really is. I tell him how handsome he is.
That was a Eurasian eagle owl.
I'm sure maybe it's another one out of joined on here with one of my co-trainers. Her name is Stephanie, and we are going to be bringing out one of our newest ambassadors for you guys to meet. Her name is Stella. She is also one of the wildlife species that is native to only base camp. So this is Stella. She is a tamandua. They are also known as lesser anteaters. And Stella is a very uniquely colored tamandua. So she is a southern tamandua. They are from South America. However, a lot of tamanduas are black and white. They have a very black V on their back. Stella is very fluffy and very blonde. She's a California tamandua. So you'll see her navigating some of this setup that we have for her here. Their eyesight isn't that great, so she's primarily going to be following her nose, and she uses her sense of hearing as well to rely on her whereabouts. And she is an insectivore. So Stephanie has hidden some of her favorite treats, which happens to be mealworms and waxworms, in these little feeders that we have set up for her so she can show off how she climbs around in the trees. So what makes Stella a really cool wildlife ambassador is that you guys see that tail that she has? So that tail is called prehensile. So prehensile just means grasping. So that means that she can use her tail just like an extra arm. We're gonna see if maybe she wants to hang down from her tail and show you guys how she uses it. She's thinking about it. She says, no thanks, not today. But that helps them climb around in the trees. She also has very, very sharp claws. Now when you see her walking around, if you look at her front feet, it looks like she's walking around kind of pigeon-toed. That is because they have very, very long claws, so they cannot walk with a flat foot on the front there. But those long claws help them get to their favorite food, which we talked about. They are insects. So in their wild habitats, they would be eating a lot of ants and a lot of termites. Fun story, we did try to give the tamanduas here some ants. We got some nice fresh deadfall from a local source, and we tried to find deadfall that had a termite colony or an ant colony in it. We thought that would be great for our tamanduas. That would show off some great natural behaviors. You could see them ripping apart those logs. They would get what they eat in their native habitats. Apparently, North American ants and termites taste a lot different than South American ants and termites. I don't have much of a palate for ants, so I don't know, but according to tamanduas, they do not like the North American ants. So they were not into it at all. So we are just sticking with mealworms and waxworms, which she really, really loves. Now Stella's only about 2 years old, so she is very, very young. She is, however, being paired with our males that we have here. So we have a 5-year-old male and a 12-year-old male, because these tamanduas are part of the species survival plan. So that means that they are recommended to breed. The Species Survival Plan is a conservation organization that recommends breeding pairs based on animals' genetic relatedness. So hopefully she will give us a baby tamandua. Baby tamanduas are super cute, and they're called pups when they're born. So kind of like puppies, but they're called pups. And interestingly enough, these tamandua pups, they're born with a vest that matches their mom's. So you can't really see it on Stella because she's so blonde, but you guys see the black on her shoulders? Okay, well on some tamanduas, that black extends all the way down their back and it creates a V. And then when the babies are born and they have the V as well, it matches their mom's back, so it helps them stay safe from predators. Okay, now she's hanging from her tail. Now she can do it. But you see how her back feet are wrapped around that branch, so her back feet can rotate about 180 degrees? And you see how she's using her tail to wrap around that branch? Look at that. She can support her whole body weight just from her tail. So these guys are very good at navigating through the trees. However, they can be found on the ground as well, but they do try to stay hidden. They are primarily nocturnal animals. They do try to stay hidden because they are prey animals themselves. So they get preyed upon by potentially large snakes, large cats, or even harpy eagles. Now, tamanduas are really fun to work with because they are just very inquisitive and very curious by nature. They are also very reinforced by smells, so they really enjoy checking out new spaces. And Stella here actually came to us primarily to be part of the breeding program, but because she was so tractable, she was food motivated, the keepers developed a really good relationship with her, so we started doing ambassador work with her. And she always has her, not because they're naughty, but because they are smelly. So that smell actually helps them ward off predators, because a predator is going to come by, she's going to release that scent, and then the predator is going to say, oh, you stink, I don't want to mess with you. So it's not us, but it might be Stephanie after she works with Stella here, so nobody give her a hug or a high five after the presentation, right? Pretty stinky. And they always kind of have that little eau de tamandua, we lovingly call it. But she has not actually sprayed any of us, thank goodness. And when they spray, they actually spray forward. So what they do is they stand up on their hind legs, they show off those really big pinching claws that they have, and then they spray forward. So unlike a skunk that sprays backwards. So if you ever come across a tamando and it stands up forward at you, you're in the danger zone. All the way down to the bottom of that tube. And that's also another reason why we don't do a ton of handling or hand feeding, is because they're very, very sticky. They're just very, very messy animals. How do they make those stinky smells? They spray it like a skunk. Uh-huh. They are very good climbers.
This is the achiote plant. It's so beautiful.
It's a beautiful plant. I mean, it blooms. The flower comes first and then the pod comes behind. The flowers are this pretty white, red thing. It's really pretty.
Wow.
Just pretty once in the last 2 years, and then there's about 5 times today.
Wow.
The pods are so,
So it already flowered?
yeah.
Super Sniffer, Elvis! Maybe. There he is. Now he's using that amazing nose of his to find a scented item. We change the location every single day. I don't even know where it is today. and it looks like he is ready for it today. We'll see how fast he can find it. We have never won this game. Oh, bathroom break. This is his California mandated 15-minute break, everyone. Just happens to be right now. Good job, bud. Make sure you get your breaks in. That was a good one. All right, well, you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. All right, looks like he's ready. And he's redecorating, and he found it. He found his stuffed koala, which is a great representation as to some of the canines that we have worldwide. We have canines in our Australian Outback Conservation Hub who were very helpful during the 2019 and 2020 fires that devastated the Australian Outback. Now these dogs were able to go out and sniff out any koalas who might have been displaced because of those fires. We also have canines right here in our own backyard, the Southwest Conservation Hub, where they are able to go out and sniff out frogs. Now these frog dogs were very important during the starting phases of a project we were working with, the endangered mountain yellow-legged frog. One of those canines is a Chihuahua, so all sorts of dogs are helping in conservation efforts. And we have canines in our African Savanna Conservation Hub who are able to sniff out poachers so that we can protect the many different species that we're working with in Africa. We also have scat searching dogs, which is a fancy word for poop. So these dogs can go out and they can find particular species feces, and that way we can help protect those animals as well. Now Elvis may not be out in the field, but he has a very important job right here at Wagaforth Bowl. He is paired with our cheetah, and they are together pretty much all the time, unless we are feeding her, because believe it or not, Elvis here would steal her food, not the other way around. So in order to protect her daily diet, we make sure this guy is busy sniffing out koalas. Well, he did an amazing job out States, and we'd like to introduce you to our little pack of them. Now, coming on out, we have our wolf pack. Now, we have 3 here at Wagaforth Bowl, and we'll see, it looks like all 3 of them are going to join us today. So right here, closest to me with Melissa, we have Shasta on these 2 logs. Across the way with Kelly, we have Beckworth or Bex. Now those 2 are brother or sister, believe it or not. And then across the water, we have Shadow, who is the uncle of these 2. So we do have a true life wolf pack here. They are all related. Now these 2 closer to me, they are 3 years of age, and Shadow over there is coming in at 11, right? 9, 11, 9? One of the 2, 11, yeah. When you work here, you kind of forget ages and you hope that everything stays a baby. Now, so he is 11, I always forget. And he is truly their uncle, and it's pretty cool that we get to do this. Now, when they're out here, they might be presenting some wolfy behaviors, which is great. We love to see them doing that because it means they're nice and comfortable out here. And as you can, that's a great behavior right there. I'll explain that in a sec. So when we're out here, we like to make this a super positive place. So when we see these behaviors that are being elicited, it is great. So what Shadow did right there, you might have a canine at home that does that, maybe after they use the restroom. My pug in particular does it, and it's always cute whenever she does it. I'm like, yeah, you're being a wolf. So your domestic dogs got that from their ancestors, the wolf. And what they're doing is they have scent glands between those toe beans, so they're spreading their scent. So when they do those little scratches, it's helped to spread their scent. Another thing that they might do is, domestic dogs do this as well, they might roll around in smelly things. My dog likes freshly mowed grass. She likes to roll around in that. So that is another behavior that the domestic dog has gotten from their wild counterpart. And what they're doing is they're rolling around in a scent so they can either collect that smell and maybe take it back to their pack, like, hey, look what I found, or they're covering up their own scent. When you are the biggest, baddest predator out there, you don't want your prey to smell you. So by rolling around in something smelly, you can help cover up that wolf smell. Oftentimes, wolves will roll in like feces maybe, or a dead animal. Here at Wegeforth Bowl, we provide Bath and Body Works or bubble bath soap, so our wolves don't smell quite as bad, thank goodness, because we do luckily get to work hand in hand with them. Now, I often talk about superpowers out there and how the canine has that amazing sense of smell. Well, humans have a superpower as well, and that is empathy. With our empathy, we're able to help all sorts of different wildlife out there, like the wolf. Because unfortunately, wolves have been prosecuted against through the ages. They have come on and off the endangered species list. So most recently, what we've done with our voting power is we've been able to see wolves actually come back into California. So we've seen more and more packs coming into California, which is a great thing because wolves used to run all over the United States. So by seeing this, it means that we are doing the right thing with our voting power. Now, our two youngsters, Beckworth and Shasta, are actually named after the first packs that came back into California. So pretty cool that we get to see a connection with like that. So by using your voting power and looking out for wildlife like that, we can protect our very own natural predator who helps us very much in our ecosystems. Looks like they headed on out of here. So once again, our amazing wolf pack.
Head over to our Amazonia Conservation Hub, which our macaws represented a little bit. But here we and our partners are working to conserve plant life, like the orchid, as well as animals like the jaguar, Andean bear, and New World monkey. Now, we have a lot of great success stories, and one of our favorites is going to be that of the California condor. In 1982, there were only 22 California condors left. We teamed up with our partners over at the California Condor Recovery Program, and now there are about 561 California condors. So that is an enormous leap from just 22 individuals. But none of this recovery would have been possible without our experience in raising their cousin, the Andean condor. Now, the Andean condor is the largest flighted bird in South America, mostly found in Colombia, Peru, and Argentina. They are a beautiful bird, and we have a stunning 35-year-old female to introduce to all of you, but we cannot fly her unless everyone is in their seats. This is very important, so those at the top, you please remain at the top. No one coming down the stairs. And we are going to introduce to you, after I set down some food items here, our beautiful 35-year-old Andean condor Polona. And if you feel the need to duck, please duck. All right, without further ado, this is Polona. Back to our One Health approach, which Elvis, our canine, as well as our wolf family, they all represented, and our next wildlife ambassador fits the mold by also being a keystone species, just like our wolves were. So this particular species is incredibly important for sustaining their ecosystems through their very hard work. They are the engineers of the wild world. It might take her a moment to wake up, but as she makes her way on out here, I would like to welcome Justine Beaver to all of you. I know. Now, beavers are second to humans in their ability to manipulate and change their environment. They can turn an empty area into a wetland sanctuary for many different species to enjoy. A couple days ago, I read an article saying that many affected areas due to wildfires, the ones that recover the greatest and have the best success, are areas where beavers were present. So I think that's absolutely remarkable to think that they can help change, manipulate, and make the environment a better place. So it looks like she's gonna wake on up and come out here. She is a 15-year-old female beaver, so sometimes it takes her a while to wake up. Sometimes she doesn't want to come out. Sometimes she swims for sometimes, and then other times she just wants to walk around. So we'll see what Justine Beaver wants to do today. And yes, she was named after Justin Bieber. Yeah, we received her 15 years ago, back in the height of things, and he is yet to come and meet her. She's hoping one day he will. So beavers, they have many wonderful adaptations that help make them very successful on land and in the water. And here's some great video footage of Justine hanging out in the water. So I don't know about you, but when I swim, I love to wear goggles and flippers. And beavers are designed with both. Their eyes, they have extra eyelids. So beavers do have poor vision. In fact, many rodent species do. But with that lens, that protective clear eyelid, it's going to help them see better underwater, which is very important for them. Now, their feet, as you can see on video, see if she'll let you see them out here. Their front feet are quite dexterous, 5 digits, great for holding the tools necessary for building. Their hind feet are a bit pigeon-toed, and they are webbed, so built-in flippers. And those hind feet are fantastic for walking bipedally, so they'll walk on 2 feet, carry their building supplies in their forelimbs. I hear some commotion. It sounds like she wants to go this way. Today, our wildlife are definitely in control and choosing their own paths, it seems. And that is A-okay. We'll see what she wants to do. Because like they say, busy as a beaver is vicious that way. So Raina here is one of her newer wildlife care specialists. But sometimes, after a large predator, sometimes it takes Justine a moment to come on out, right? A very acute sense of smell. So sometimes she sniffs them, and she's like, oh, they're gone. Okay, it is a great time to come on out and be a beaver. And look, she's making her way on out here with perfect timing. And as I mentioned before, they don't have a great sense of vision, so on the video and here, you can see her use those hands, perfect dive, to look around for her food. You probably won't see that right now because she is showing off her swimming skills. And beavers can hold their breath up to an impressive 15 minutes. And in order to access their lodges, which are their homes, they actually enter from underwater. And that helps keep them nice and protected from predators and unwanted visitors. They do build dams, and that is what they are most notorious for building. And they can stop waterways, reroute waterways, redistribute river systems. So beavers are incredibly impressive and an amazing species. And they were almost hunted to extinction in the 1800s during westward expansion for their pelts. Thankfully, their population has recovered and they are doing quite well. But I think we are going to let her swim around, show off those swimming skills. I'm happy she decided to come on out and say hello to all of you. But that was our North American beaver, Justine. Now, for over a century, San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance has been creating a world where all life thrives through collaboration, innovation, and inspiration. I hope something you learned or saw today has inspired you to take action to help wildlife, because when wildlife thrives, all life thrives. Thank you all for being allies for wildlife, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at the San Diego Zoo. Bye-bye.
Does anyone by chance know somebody with a ferret or see people with ferrets as pets? Okay, because you might recognize her right off the bat because in some states they are actually pretty common pets to have. Cheyenne here, she is a domestic ferret, but she represents her wild cousins, the black-footed ferret, which are found in the Midwest. So she might show off as we kind of let her kind of explore and kind of get her bearings here. Gabby and I have brought out some special food enforcer for her. So this is a great observation for her training behavior. We never make our wildlife do anything they don't want to do, and so it's all choice and control. That's why we brought out these little tubes that you see here. Ferrets are really excellent diggers and excavators, so they really thrive in tunnels, especially wild ferrets. The black-footed ferrets, one of their favorite prey items are prairie dogs. So if anybody's from the Midwest, you may recognize prairie dogs right off the bat. That's one of their favorite snacks. So they are carnivores. We have a few different food reinforcers. Some is a mix of a kibble. We also have some other special treats for her as well, as she kind of is getting her bearings here. Can you guys tell what sense she's using the most right now?
Nose.
Yeah, her nose. She's got an amazing sense of smell. That's going to help her really navigate her environment, and she's going to do exactly that. Gabby just gave her what we call a pinky. They are a very small mouse, and she's going to do exactly what you expect to see them in that wild behavior. Just take them right into a burrow in a tunnel and just go off with it. So we're going to kind of reinforce her with some little scavenging behavior, kind of get her using her senses to work for her reward. Great question. So the domestic ferrets like Cheyenne here are actually, being a domestic species, they're actually in pretty good condition. However, the black-footed ferret, there's only a couple dozen in the wild that we estimate today. Unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with habitat loss and also clearing landscaping for, thriving in the Great Plains. A lot more people there are, the more space we need, and more for our towns, our cities, and whatnot. That takes away a lot of habitat for a lot of prairie species like black-footed ferrets, as well as also competition for resources out there as well. They are pretty feisty carnivores, and that's why they are not only, and with their cuteness factor to them as well, they are not only eye catchers in their own right, but they also really play an important part of the food chain. They are top carnivores. Where are you going, girl? Did you find it? She's got to figure it out on her own. This is the best part right here.
They also are at risk for a lot of different types of diseases that they can contract, and a lot of those come from like domestic animals. You don't get your dog vaccinated, it could go out into a space, and if it's off the leash, there's no telling what it can interact with, and oftentimes that can lead to ferrets getting really, really sick as well. So that has also led to the black-footed ferret population dropping to a point where they thought they were extinct a while ago, and then someone's dog brought them back a black-footed ferret, and that's how they discovered there are still black-footed ferrets. There's just only a couple dozen of them left.
Where are they located?
They would be found in the Great Plains of the U.S. So in places that are really, really large and expansive, that's where ferrets are going to be found. They've got these impressive abilities to go underground in these tunnels. That's why we created some above ground tunnels so you can see her while she's moving through the tunnel systems. But usually they would tuck beneath the surface. They would go under and find those prairie dogs that have built these huge towns underground. And because prairie dogs are about the same size and sometimes heavier than a ferret, she would actually not eat the prairie dog right away when she catches it. They're in a huge group, and any one of those prairie dogs could turn and figure out a way to try and take her out. So instead, she would take her food, and she goes and she does something called caching it. So right now you're seeing what that looks like. She won't eat it out in front of everyone. She's gonna go and she's gonna hide the food item and only eat it when she feels safe and is away from anything else that could be a threat. Very cute.
I couldn't resist the creme brulee donut. They make them fresh every day, and it's the chef's own recipe, she said. So delicious. Crunchy creme brulee with the vanilla custard filling and soft donut. So good. I've never had a creme brulee donut before. This one is so delicious. I would highly recommend it. Thank you for watching my video. Please hit like and subscribe for more of my fun videos. And I hope you have a beautiful day.